a dreamer, innovator, or change maker looking to ignite your potential and make a difference? Then get ready for Imo Lite, the ultimate radio show designed to motivate, empower, and transform you. Join us every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. on Boss Radio 98.9 FM Owerri as we bring you inspiring stories, expert advice, practical skills, and life-changing opportunities to help you rise and shine. From leadership and entrepreneurship to digital skills and personal growth, we have got it all. You can call in to share your story. Don't just sit back. Rise up, light up, join the movement with Imo Lite, and let's take the future together.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Imo Lite, Imo State, and beyond. Welcome to Imo Light Up Radio Show. I'm your host, Onukwugha, and we are on Bus Radio 98.9 FM. And today, we're diving into a game-changing topic titled Women in Leadership. From boardrooms to classrooms, from tech labs to Senate, Nigerian women are rising, leading, and transforming the future. But what does it take to lead in a world that hasn't opened doors for women, hasn't always opened doors for women? And how can young girls be empowered to rise with confidence, clarity, and courage? So we have a lot to unpack today. We have a lot in store, and I'm so excited to share what's to come, Wherever you are, whether you're calling in from West Africa or Europe, thank you for spending your lunch break with us. We hope you have lunch ready. Whether you're in North America, you're in Mexico, good morning, rise and shine. Thank you for starting your day and morning with us. Or if you're calling in from Asia or Australia, well, we hope you had a splendid day and you're enjoying your commute home. But wherever you are, we're grateful that you decided to take the time to join us on this power hour of motivation, inspiration, and impact. Now, as usual, what we have in store today, we have a segment. We start with, a change maker opportunity, highlights, or something that's going on in the country and the region. We start with that. Then we introduce our guest speaker and hear from our guest speaker. And today we have a powerhouse today, like a huge, one of the most well-respected women in leadership in Nigeria. So I'm excited to have her on board today. And then we have, from throughout, we'll take questions. If you have questions, sometimes you can also, send a message on WhatsApp, but save this studio number. So whenever you want to call in or whenever you want to send a message, you can definitely dial in. The number is 0912 267 7989. Or you can send a WhatsApp message to 0806 999 2999. All right, so we look forward to having an engaging section, and then of course we wrap up the day with sharing tips that you can take home. So we're not just here for vibes, we're not just here to share insights, we're not just here to chit chat. We also want to make sure that you're applying what you took to your life and you're actually progressing. All right, and then we wrap up the episode with each session with an action step, a take home, which leads me to last week. So last week we actually had an action step. So I hope you all did your assignment last week. The assignment was choose one. It was an emotional intelligence. Now the assignment was choose one emotional intelligence habit to practice daily this week. Whether it's journaling your emotions, active listening, asking for feedback, or responding instead of reacting. Choose one emotional intelligence habit to practice this week. So I hope you all practice it, and throughout the show you can also share how your journey went with us as well. So this is definitely a knowledge sharing space, a safe space, and a space where you can just power your minds. Again, this is Imo Light Up Radio Show. I'm your host, Onukwugha, and we're currently live on Bus Radio 98.9 FM. Now, we're going to start with a little news. So, I had some, news coming to me, and a recommendation actually is to let's highlight certain things, not just going on in Imo State, in the region, but also in Africa, expand to Africa. And right now, an opportunity, if you're in the transportation industry, electric transportation, electric vehicles, electric motors are making wave. Now, you might ask, are we even there yet? Are we even there yet? We don't need to be there to start thinking about it. In some countries we are, in some countries we're not. But I want us to start thinking of progress, thinking of the future, thinking of very, very far, so that when the future comes now, which is now, we're not left wondering, why didn't we start now? So two of the major news happenings, Ethiopia signed a huge $30 million deal for electric aircraft. So they will, by next year, 2026, they'll be launching electric aircraft. That is huge. These are aircraft powered by electricity instead of fossil fuels. And the other one is the world's first all-electric powerboat racing series, the E1 World Championship, is coming to Lagos this October 2025. So electric transportation is making waves. So wherever you are, this is an opportunity also for your business. If you want to start scaling up, if you want to start investing, now it's actually a great time to invest in electric transportation. It will be a profitable sector for your business. So that's all for now. We're going to take a very quick break, and then we're going to introduce our phenomenal guest speaker. Again, today's episode is brought to you by Pearlview Edu Consult. Now, Pearlview Edu Consult is championing the next generation of leaders through trainings, through events, through activities, through initiatives. And they have a leadership academy coming on this August. So wherever you are, a 3-week intensive leadership academy that's happening for SS1, 2, and 3 and recent high school graduate. Now, after these 3 weeks, your career prospects are going to be skyrocketed. I mean, you're just going to be transformed. And I'm so thrilled, and I'm glad there's something this wonderful and of high quality and high standard here in Imo State. So if you would like to join the Leadership Academy, or you know somebody, or you have a child, call this number 0901 553 1160. That's 0901 553 1160. Thank you, Pearlville, for EduConsult, for championing women's leadership and quality in every field. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back. All right, all right. Welcome back to Imo Light Up Radio Show. Thank you for joining. Thank you for spending your morning, afternoon, or evening with us. So I hope you liked our little opportunity segment, and I hope your minds are now buzzing and thinking of, wow, I didn't know electricity is making a wave, and now you know. Now you definitely know. All right, so we're getting ready to introduce our phenomenal powerhouse of a lady. Are you ready? Drum roll. Meet Dr. Mrs. Ihama Onukwugha, Dr. Mrs. Pearl Ihama Onukwugha, a celebrated educator, school founder, and leadership consultant with 35 years of experience across Nigeria and the United States. As the visionary behind Pearlville School Aware and Pearlville EduConsult, she has dedicated her life to transforming education through impactful leadership, professional development, and school reform, earning her a respected voice in both local and international educational communities. Dr. Pearl is our special guest on the 8th episode of Imo Light Up Radio Show, speaking on the theme, Women in Leadership, drawing from her rich personal journey and extensive professional experience. Welcome, Dr. Pearl. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me in your station.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us today and for dedicating and spending the afternoon here with us. So today we're going to dive right into it. You have a phenomenal and an impressive background. I think we're going to learn a lot from you today. So are you ready to get started?
Sure, I am.
Okay, so the first is, tell us what inspired you to start your initiative or your business.
I love that question. You know, when you're asked what made you start what you love doing, is just an easy question. My mother is a retired teacher, and so I would remember when I was young, after school lessons, I would assist her in doing lessons. And I discovered that I loved being with children. I discovered that I loved teaching them. And each time I taught any child and they do well, it made me happy. So I saw my vision. I realized my vision early enough before even I got into the university. And so before I graduated, I knew that one day I would start making impacts on a global scale. And so it was a natural process that immediately I finished my university, I went straight into teaching. I didn't look for any other job. I went straight into teaching in order to build my experiences, my skills, and so on. And so when I felt I was ready, I opened up a school because I needed to impact children on a larger scale and for you to make that kind of impact, it's either you are in a leadership position in education or you're owning your own school. So I felt that having had experiences as a teacher as well as an administrator, the next natural process is to own a school, and I'm happy I did that. So I run a Pearlville School, and through that I'm able to make decisions that affect and impact children nationally, locally, and globally.
I think that's wonderful, and you're doing wonderful because from what I hear, Pearlville is phenomenal. So thank you for starting that and bringing that, more importantly, here. Now, what challenges did you face as a young woman stepping into leadership?
To be honest with you, I would be a bit hesitant to say I faced lots of challenges. You know, when you are playing in a comfortable field, a field that you understand very well, the challenges are no longer seen as challenges. So I would say I didn't face major challenges because I moved into my own terrain. And incidentally, in education, about 70% of the leaders are women. So I didn't have to have so many challenges. However, as an administrator, because I worked as an administrator in public schools as well as in government schools within and outside of the country, of course, the major challenge was how dare you aspire to be a school principal, especially when you have people who are interested in making sure that you do not progress. I became an administrator in US, in a place where I had a lot against me. First, I was one of two black teachers in the school. So having to rise up to become an administrator was not easy from that angle. And I also discovered that many of your colleagues didn't think you knew a lot, to be able to be the leader. But, there are things you can't deny. When you come out and you show what you're made of, when you come out and you excel, when you come out, you're doing everything right, you're getting accolades from supervisors, from the ministry, definitely, they can only delay you, but they cannot stop where you're going. And so that was my own story. There were delays, but eventually I got to where I got to as an administrator. Now, if you talk about leadership beyond education, of course, you talk about the corporate world and other places, there are a lot of challenges. You have sexism, you have harassment, you have people who are not ready to mentor you, you have family challenges, you have work-life balance. Example, if you're a lady, for example, you graduate from school, and why within 10 years of your graduation, you marry, you have your family, you have children. Meanwhile, your male counterparts are already on their own trajectory of growth. By the time you are distracted by some of the things, that come along with family upbringing and so on, the male counterparts would have moved on. And by the time you get back, you see yourself struggling to meet the debt. But the interesting thing is that we ladies, we know how to be resilient. We know how to move. Even if we have lost some steps, we know how to catch up. And I'm happy that today's ladies are catching up and moving even ahead of their male counterparts. So whatever challenges that are along the way, we are always able to surmount them.
Exactly. No, that's a great one. And how have you seen leadership change lives, especially for girls?
Leadership is about influence. It's about inspiring people. It's about moving people, for a vision. And so for leadership to impact life, you must have a voice. You must have a power. You must have authority. And that's what leadership brings. And so when somebody is in a position of leadership, it means you have the power, you have the authority to make decisions that can in fact affect lives. So how has leadership affected girls? Prior to now, we had people in leadership bothered with only business growth, only growth of men, with women being seen as staying in the background. And that was some decades ago. Today, the story has changed. It's no longer the same because we have our women getting into power now, getting into leadership. And when you get into a position where you have a voice, when you become a deciding factor, when you become somebody who can make a decision, definitely the natural thing is, as you're moving along as a lady, you also carry the younger ones along. And I'm using myself as an example. I've been in many leadership positions beyond being head of school. And when you are in that kind of position, whatever decision is made, you make sure that the decision is gender balanced. And so today, and luckily for us, we have this global initiative, the Girl Child, that addresses the needs and challenges of girls. So what that means is that attention is being placed now on our girls. Awareness is being created that our girls have what it takes to be leaders. And it is interesting to know that today, if you talk about Fortune 500, I remember when I was young, in Fortune 500, you may not even find up to 5 corporate organizations held by women. But today, as at 2020, you have about 37 companies, Fortune 500 companies held by women. As at today, 25 is about 55 women leading global companies. So you can see that there is a paradigm shift. As leaders are becoming more aware of the need to have women in leadership, you see a paradigm shift in the role of women, not just in the family, in the nation, but globally making the decisions. And I believe that in the next 5 years, 10 years, the number would even go up to 70. I believe that.
I think that's impressive. Just to think of where we were in the past now, and I also love that women are also stepping up because it takes a lot of courage and bravery to step up. But to see the increase in numbers and, like you said, it will also increase. I'm looking forward to what the future holds. The future is definitely bright for many of us.
Definitely.
For sure. Now we're gonna ask one question and then we're gonna take a break. Don't forget, wherever you're listening, we're here with Dr. Pearl, one of the most notable women in leadership, especially in the education sector. If you're in the education sector here in Imo State, here in Nigeria, you definitely know about Dr. Pearl. So she's spewing insight about women in leadership, about her initiative and the steps it took for her to get to where she is. And we have several more questions. So again, if you'd like to join in, call the live studio number at 0912 267 7989. That's 0912 267 7989, or you can send a WhatsApp message to 0806 999 2999. All right, we have another question to ask for you, Dr. Pearl. You ready for this one? Okay, good. The next one is, why do you think we still see fewer women in top leadership positions?
I think I went ahead of you in that question. I think I gave you a little bit of the answer from the last question you asked. Yes, we see fewer men, ladies in leadership. I can go ahead. Okay. All right. So, back to your question.
Yes.
Why do we see fewer women in leadership?
Yes.
The answer is not far-fetched. In the last question, I tried to explain that women love leadership. But however, because of the certain stereotypes, one, attached to women, two, the fact that because of culture and exigencies of the family, sometimes women are left behind.
Yes.
Okay? And three, because of the challenges associated with rising in leadership. The challenges could be, as I said, harassment. It could also be that nobody wants to, I don't want you to challenge me when you get to that level. So there is every move to stagnate the progress of the woman. But I would like to see it from a positive angle. That yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are fewer women. But interestingly, that has not stopped women from breaking barriers in order to get where they want to get to. Now, one of the major issues we have with women being allowed, I will use the word allowed, is the fear that when they come in, they are coming in from a feminist point of view. We are rubbing shoulders. I want to show that I'm better than you. But today's woman, today's leader has no time for that. Feminism is all about equal rights. It doesn't mean that I'm coming to show that you're better than me or you're better. So, and I'm happy that the men today are beginning to understand that what the women want is not to rub shoulders, but to be partners in the growth of an establishment, an organization, and in the nation. Now, has it stopped gender equality in leadership? No. Has it made progress? Yes. So I believe that as time goes on, that our women will be seen for who they are. I believe that as time goes on, that the challenges, the barriers that have kept us, encapsulated in our capsules will break open and allow the world see what we're doing. I'm a living example. And I have many women who are in positions of power doing great work. Was it easy for them? No, it wasn't easy for them. So there is this fear that if you allow a woman to step ahead, she takes over. And that's a legitimate fear that has also helped to hold women back, not by themselves, but, factors around their growth. That has helped to hold them back. So we hope that as the world embraces the girl child, as the world looks up to what women can do, as the world understands that women are great partners and they can do a lot. You know, our men folk, our corporations embrace us more and allow us to do what we know how best to do, which is groom, nurture, and, you know, let vision grow.
Okay. Sounds good. So, ladies and gentlemen, where you're going, thank you for the insight so far, Dr. Pearl. Thank you. And we're going to take a short break. We're going to take an advert break. We're going to hear some music, and then we'll get back and ask Dr. Pearl more questions.
With the Boss sounds of the city on Boss Radio, 98.9 FM Owerri. All hits, all day. Keep it locked on 98.9.
Your music play station.
Boss Radio, 98.9 FM, where infotainment never stops.
Are you running low on diesel or fuel and need it now? Whether it's for your home, business, or a last-minute event, Sundown Integrated Services delivers direct to your doorstep, saving you stress and long queues. We provide fast, safe, and reliable delivery of diesel and fuel anytime you need it. Minimum order, just 100 liters to get started. So whether you're fueling up your generator, powering your event, or stocking up for the week, we are your go-to team. Call us now at 0704 434 3868 and let Sundown Integrated Services bring the energy right to your gates.
Jama asa nunku.
Hola muchulo.
Amesere mdito busy boss.
Maidu.
Akwebo misolo.
Yeah. Mdeve. Anuyala we. Oh.
Mazino. Nawo.
Nawo.
Eleo.
Oh. Koide. Rewado. Hey. Ibo. Maman. Hey.
Everybody make on a como. Busybody FM and Boss Radio 98.9 FM Owerri. We dey celebrate our anniversary, and now why would they invite everybody from all walks of life to come jollificate with us? This event they happen on the 30th of August, Saturday 2025. Venue now for Mimi Place, New Owerri. Ticket 1,000 naira for children. Adult now 2,000 naira. Dress code wear any ogbonge attire where you know say go represent any of our correct culture when they for Nigeria. The time red carpet na 12 p.m. Kokotiko 1 p.m. events don't kick off. If you know say you won't be sponsor and vendor for this event, you fit call this number 0901 344 44989. Boss Radio Day 4 years, Busybody Day 3 years. Busy Boss Cultural Festival.
We don't play by the rules. We create them. Boss Radio, 98.9 FM. Owerri.
Let me with the clean in the house.
drive your bus. Now me wait they drive your keke. Colosso. Now me where they run around. Now me they do the job. Colosso.
All right. Hello, Imo Lite, Imo State, and beyond. Welcome back to Imo Light Up Radio Show. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Shinanso Onukwugha, and we are currently live on Bus Radio 98.9 FM. We have Dr. Pearl here with us, the CEO and founder and proprietor of Pearlville School and Pearlville Edu Consult, who has been giving us some insightful tips and thoughts and words and remarkable insights and just thoughts on leadership, women in leadership position, on ways to step into women to leadership as a young woman, and what inspired her to just start her journey. So we're about to continue with a few more questions, and then we'll go into the interactive session. But if you have questions, again, not just for Dr. Pearl, but also about last week's challenge of choosing your emotional intelligence. If you just want to chat with us and share some comments, you can definitely call the number 0912-267-7989 or send a WhatsApp to 0806-999-2999. Now, I hope you have been having a phenomenal episode. It's been calm. The music today has been soothing. We want you all to feel relaxed, to feel comfortable. It's a wonderful topic. So wherever you are, I hope you feel relaxed and calm. It's a very soothing day. So again, thank you for joining us. We're going to continue. Dr. Pearl, are you still here with us?
I am.
You are? Okay, well, I see you. Now, thank you for joining us once again, and thank you for the words of wisdom you've shared so far. Are you ready to continue the conversation?
Sure, I am.
Wonderful. So my next question for you is, what are the myths around female leadership that needs to be broken?
When we go for conferences and meetings and we discuss women in leadership, a lot of myths come up. One of the myths that come up is that that we are not natural leaders and that we are not tough, we are not assertive, we can't weather the storm. But who says leadership must be successful with only toughness? In leadership, you need wisdom. In leadership, you need discernment. In leadership, you need emotional intelligence. In leadership, you need strategy. In leadership, you need a lot more than just showing toughness. Because beyond the toughness, what really takes you to the next step is your being able to solve problems, right? That's what leadership is. Being able to influence people, being able to move people to action. You don't need toughness to move people to action. If you have to force people to do anything, it's no longer leadership. But if you walk with them, make them, encourage them, and they on their own do what they know what to do, then that is leadership. And we women, we are natural builders. We are natural, we groom children. And so that's what leadership is all about. So yes, the first myth that we are not natural leaders, you must be tough, that is not correct. The next one is that we are too emotional. Yes, we might be too emotional, but emotional in the right way. If you have emotional intelligence, that's what you need. When you have emotional intelligence, you're able to understand what people are going through, what they are feeling. And nobody can move with you until they know you care for them. And so you can see that is why women do well successfully as leaders, because they are able to see beyond the phase that comes to work. They're able to see beyond the phase that works and be able, get into the minds of our people and see what they are going through. And when somebody's going through a lot and you're just driving and slave driving them, definitely, they will not be able to be good followers to you. Another myth is that women are encumbered with family. There is no work, they cannot combine family with work. Who says that? I'm a living example, and I have many women in leadership. Somebody like Adora Umoj, she's the first group MD, Zenith. The family lady has combined her family as well as her career. You have Mary Barra, the CEO of G Motors. These are women that have families, and yet they have built their careers to the zenith. The family cannot stop you from leading your career unless you are not willing to. So yes, it is a myth, but it is a very, very wrong one, because if you know how to balance your family and work, you'll be able to give what your family needs as well as what your work needs. Yes, you might be delayed a little bit, especially during your childbearing times, but then, like I said earlier on, you catch up. Another myth is that when women become leaders, they become disrespectful. They feel they know it all. They feel they will rub shoulders with their male counterparts, and that's not true. That's not true, because we work as partners, and of course, when a man wants to ride on you, when a man wants to put you down, you're not going to fold your hands and watch that. So you have to also show that, no, you have what it takes to stand. And of course, there are some organizations you go to and nobody wants to be challenged. Sometimes women provide that voice, So the other myth is the one I said earlier on, feminists. I'm not saying there are women who don't have that feministic tendency to say, oh, you can't shove me. No. But a lot of today's women, as I said earlier on, have learned to be smart, because when you have things around you that can stagnate your progress, you should be foolish to know how not to walk around them. So it's a matter of using your brains, it's a matter of being smart, using your sixth sense to know how to navigate through the terrain that can stop or stagnate you from getting to where you are. So those are myths, and they should remain as myths because they are not true. Success in leadership, women leadership, has shown that all of the myths that have captivated or encapsulated women in the past are irrelevant, because that is not what is at play in today's corporate world and any other form of leadership.
I loved what you said, and there was actually a question that touched on that asked basically like how do I manage my emotions when I'm in a leadership position as a woman?
Okay, how do I
manage my emotions? I think that also touches into one of the myths you said, that women are too emotional, but the person, how do I manage my emotions?
Let me when they say that women are too emotional, they are trying to refer to that little things we cry. That women are sensitive, and that if it becomes tough, we back down, we cry, and then we look for support. Not today's woman. Not today's woman. Before you get to the leadership position, you would have built yourself up psychologically, emotionally, socially, and so on. And any woman aspiring to be a leader, especially in corporate organizations, should know, and of course knows, that you are not going there to play. It's a battlefield. And so if you know that you're going to cry at any, in fact, there is no room for that. Any woman aspiring to be a leader knows that there is no room to cry in the battlefield. It's either you are there or you are not there. So they are prepared. I am prepared. When I became a school leader, I knew it wasn't going to be an easy task. So, and I knew that I would get a lot of, punches from, and I did get them. But they didn't make me weak. Instead, they made me stronger. So, in terms of that, and that's why I turned it, it's not emotional, but emotional intelligence.
Right.
And as I talk to women today, we go for conferences, women conferences, we share ideas, we discuss. And I'm happy because I see that women are becoming strong. In fact, have become stronger. They expect what comes. And when you expect what comes to you, you are better prepared for it. So the idea of crying, being sensitive, that's no longer at play. Now, maybe in the past, it may be in the distant past, but not anymore now.
Right. Thank you so much. And I have one question for you. And again, before I ask this question, I want to announce and say that this episode was brought to you by Pearlville School. Pearlville School is the best nursery, primary, and secondary school in Imo State, Nigeria. And they have two opportunities for you to be involved in their school. Not only can you attend the school, it's a private school. The secondary school is co-educational boarding. But they have a summer camp coming up in August for nursery, primary, and JS 1, 2, and 3. As well as a 3-week leadership academy for SS 1, 2, and 3 and recent high school graduates. So wherever you are, whether you're from nursery, junior, secondary, whichever stage you are in your education career journey, you have an opportunity to take part in an initiative that Pearl School is running. They're a phenomenal school. I'm truly glad that we have quality standard education here in our home in Imo State. So thank you, Pearlville School, for championing the next future generation of leaders. All right, I have a question, and then we're going to take a break. I have a question which touches on your myths. Do you think a woman can have it all? And I know you pretty much answered this because you touched on a woman having leadership, a whole woman having, you touched on the examples that they also balance family and career. But what about family, career, and their personal life, their leisure life? Can a woman truly have it all?
When I was growing up, one of the narratives was that, oh, you can't be this and be this. For me, I believe you can eat your cake and still have it. You can have it all. When you hear success stories from women, you then understand that you can have it all. Will it be easy? No. You have to put in extra effort to balance both worlds. The world as a family person and then the world there. And that is why, as an individual, having gone through what I went through to be able to get to where I am, I have decided to be a bridge for many of our young girls. Now, in private school, one of the things we do and we have introduced in our curriculum is leadership.
Right.
Leadership is a core curriculum course in our school because I strongly believe in getting our girls young. I mean, it's for the boys as well as for the girls.
Right.
But we are bringing both of them together. We're not doing leadership separate for boys and separate for girls because in the real world, they are going to also meet, right? And so in the secondary school, we introduce leadership program for them where they build their leadership skills, public speaking, and every other thing. And so with that, we prepare them. They are confident, and when they step out of the school, and that's why any girl that graduates from secondary school is a potential leader because from JS1, they are prepared for leadership. Now, I took it a bit further away. Beyond the walls of Pearlville School, others should also know. So we started the Leadership Academy so that beyond the students of Pearlville School, other students out there will also come in because we are teaching core leadership skills. And it's not a program to miss. So getting to your point, yes, you can have it all. You can have it all. I have it all. I will always use my example. I have a beautiful family. I did my job as a mother. My children are doing well, doing very well in all their fields. As a career person, I'm also doing well. None suffered. I wouldn't say, oh, I missed out on anything. I didn't miss out on anything. And so the ladies out there, my answer is that yes, you can have it all. It's about using your wisdom. It's about being focused. It's about planning very well. It's about understanding what you want. It's about having a strategy of growth, having a strategy of success. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Nothing happens just like that. You have to be strategic in your plans. You have to be strategic and intentional in everything you are doing. So if you have made up your mind to be a leader and you also want to be a family person, you must make sure that you meet both, you marry both very well, and it can be done. Many women are doing it. They are being career women, They are running homes. They are managing homes. They are even breadwinners. And still, none of this is stopping them from reaching the zenith of their careers. So the women out there, I encourage you. Nothing can stop you unless you stop yourself. In fact, it's just you. I tell myself, I am the one that can stop myself.
Right.
And if you're lucky to have a supportive person, family members, partner, then it means that you would even move at a faster pace, than somebody who has no support. So yes, we can have it all.
Thank you, Dr. Pearl. Thank you, listeners. We're going to take a quick break. I want you to enjoy a jam, and then we'll come back to ask a few more questions, and we'll wrap it up with some key takeaways and from some tips, as well as our challenge for the week.
Shake belly, what is up on tell? Belly, deliver like I get belly. Them say I did go sell. Them say I did go sell. Asking me to Fortuna, I go make you Joe Dada. Share you get the power. Sweetie passy, I'm a lucky too. Shinji Kagawa, Jesu Christi Lobawa. Got them falling yakata. You know I see sappy girl they do.
All right, welcome back to Imo Light Up Radio Show. Now, gentlemen, don't think we've forgotten about you. We've been talking a lot about women, but I have a question for Dr. Pearl that touches on this one's for my men. All right, so anyway, welcome back to Imo Light Up Radio Show. We just have 10-12 minutes. I mean, time goes by so quickly. Where has 40 minutes gone already? But thank you for tuning in. So my next question for you is, what role can men play in supporting women's leadership?
Big roles. In the past, the men folk used to be our problems because they will be the ones preventing women from getting into leadership. That was, decades and decades ago. But today, our men are more aware, they are more supportive, and they have come on board, understanding that women play good roles as partners in progress of anything they set up their mind to do. And so how can they help? They can help in being allies. When somebody is an ally, that person is your friend. It means that the person wants to work with you. So they can make the condition of work very conducive so that the women can function effectively. They can also involve women, make their deciding platforms very gender balanced and inclusive. Most times when you get to boardrooms and where you have decisions being made, you can only find maybe one woman. Sometimes you don't even find a woman at all, one or two. So our men folk can also include more women. If you have 2, 3, 4 women among 10 board members, a lot can be achieved, because there are things women see that men may not be able to easily see. They can also be mentors. When you have a woman in an office, it may not be easy. A lot of things may be going through. But if our men are more supportive, if they are sensitive and, understand what the woman is going about, carry the person on board, a lot can be achieved. Now, a lot of times, the men in corporate organizations invest more on men than women, because they don't believe that, okay, we invest in you, maternity leave, you go on maternity leave 2-3 times. So why do we waste that time? Why do we waste that money? No, and you see a lot being invested on men because those are the ones they are very sure of, to the detriment of the women in the office. So we encourage our men to also look the other way around to our women. Whatever opportunity is being given to the men in the office, in anywhere, should also be availed to the women so that all of them can be growing pari passu. Another thing is that if a woman has reached a position, that position should not be denied. And that is what we always see. You will see two people that start at the same time, have the same qualifications, and when it is time to promote, the men are promoted more than the women. You see also that in salary disparity. So all of these are things that can, suppress the growth of a woman in a place. So we encourage our men folk in corporate world everywhere, to be partners in the growth and development of the women. Is it still happening? Yes, it's still happening. But this time around, our women have become smarter as well. They are not waiting for meals to be handed over to them. So while they are looking for support from our men, whether they get it or not, they are also having their own strategies as to how to move ahead. Now, I don't know if you're going to ask me, there is something I wanted to say about how girls can be supported in leadership. I don't know if it's among the question you intend to ask.
Okay, you can answer it.
Okay, because you said it's about 10 minutes and I didn't want to miss that before we go off on air. Now, I can't finish coming here without talking about how our young girls can be encouraged to get into leadership. Now, we are, in a few years' time, we will all retire. What are we leaving behind for the young ones? Now, encouraging. What I do in pelvic school, I'm also encouraging it. What we do is that we encourage girls to get into clubs, associations, school clubs, debate clubs, programs that will encourage them to come up and be bold and speak. I encourage churches, when there are programs, allow women to also, girls, the young girls, to also come up and be part of any program, whatever awareness. I mean, it's in Kenya, for example, a group of girls are taking the initiatives to do what? Go out and educate the younger ones. These are 18, 19-year-old girls. In Nepal, you see the same thing. Young girls that have passed through leadership programs are taking the initiatives to do what? Go into even primary schools to educate. So if we start early to educate our children, our young girls, on leadership, on the need to stand on their feet, on the need to be ready for what is out there, on the need to step up and embrace, their skills, their strengths, and we start it early on time. By the time they get to college, they would have been so confident in their own shoes to be able to say, no, yes, out there, it's not easy, but we have what it takes to help us navigate and get to where we want. So all of us have a lot of work to do as we work with the global initiative of the girl child, because that's exactly what it is, the girl child. And I'm happy that focus is now on the girl child, not just their needs, not just their challenges, not just their health or hygiene, but beyond that, their education, to empower them, to enrich them, to educate them, and to help them move beyond the barriers that prevent them from being leaders. And when you educate a woman, a man, you educate one person. I hope you know that. But when you educate a woman, you educate a whole community, because whatever gets into a woman never stops there. It multiplies. And so the more women we have in leadership, the more growth, the more nurturing, the more transformation, the more impact, positive impact we will make in the world.
Nice. Snaps to that, claps to that. I think that's a wonderful way to round up. And I'm happy you touched on it, on how everybody has a part, everybody has a role in the movement of the girl child. I love that you touched on that. Now we're going to go to our different segment. Thank you, Dr. Pearl, for just a beautiful session, a beautiful conversation. I think we have a lot to do, basically. From the sound of it, we have a lot to do, but ladies, we can have it all. And men, you're doing amazing supporting, but there's so much more we can do in supporting women in leadership, and support each other rising.
And I challenge you. I'm happy you are the host of this program, so I'm also challenging you to use your platform to do what? Bring up ladies, girls into leadership. Let us all work together and make sure we get our women folk up there.
Yes. I love that. And that's one of the essence of this show, is to highlight amazing individuals doing great things. And we've heard from amazing women speakers. We've also had male speakers as well, but we've had some amazing ladies doing phenomenal things in their respective field, including you as well, Dr. Pearl.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now I'm about to give you practical tips. It's skill up time, or skill up. So get some paper, take some notes. Here are some practical tips for young women and allies, as Dr. Pearl mentioned, allies, I love that word, who want to grow as bold leaders. So this is not just for women, but of course the topic is women in leadership. So one is own your voice. Practical tips for people who want to grow as bold leaders. Own your voice. Speak up in meetings, in discussions, and public spaces. Don't be afraid to. The second is find your mentors. Look for role models and don't hesitate to reach out to them. The third is build your competence and confidence. Excellence opens doors and keeps them open. And I'll even add on consistency. Competence, confidence, and consistency in whatever thing you're doing or you take on. The fourth is learn to say no. Boundaries protect your energy and purpose, and I love that. And the third is support other women. Leadership is not a competition, and I think Dr. Pearl highlighted on that. Leadership is not a competition, it's a collective rise. We rise by lifting others up, so let's make that collective effort to support each other and lift each other up. Now, for your action step, we're getting to the bit of it. Your action step, your challenge for this week is tag a woman leader who inspires you. So you can either tag them on social media, or you can write a post. You can share a post and highlight them. I think that's just beautiful. Tag a woman leader who inspires you. Encourage a girl to lead at school, in her community, or even at home. Use the hashtag Imo Lite Up, IMOLITEUP, and share your support online. So you can either tag a woman leader or share a heartwarming post about a woman leader who inspires you, or encourage a girl to lead at school, in her community. All right, so that's all for today, folks. Thank you for this power hour of motivation, inspiration, and impact. I'm your host, Chinonso Onukwugha, and this is Imo Lite Up radio show, only a Boss Radio 98.9 FM. Thank you, Pearlville School, for being phenomenal and for empowering and pioneering this episode and being committed to breaking ceilings and building futures. Again, if you haven't followed Imo Lite Up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, do so today and share a journey with us with hashtag Imo Lite Up. Hashtag Imo Lite Up. That's all for today, folks. See you and tune in next week. Thank you very much.